Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work, hard work, hard work.
Fall in.
Hey, what's good? What's good? Y'all know what it is. Y'all, it's your favorite vets of the Nets. Getting ready to rock with y'all. So today we got a little something going on. The conversation continues. State of military basketball. But Bishop, it's a little bit different tonight.
It is. It's something that we touched on it, I think, earlier last year when we did, or late last year, should I say? No, it was early last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
It was during that tournament. We talked on Miss Kim Henry.
Kimberly Green.
Green. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I said Henry. I'm sorry about that. If you're watching Kim Green. So we ain't had her on here in a while, but
She's gonna be on tomorrow.
She's gonna be on tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
But yeah, we've dabbled a little bit in this, a little bit here and there. You know what I'm saying? So we always talking about men's MBA, Military Basketball Association.
Women
But there's a
History Month.
female version.
There's a
of this.
perspective.
Yes, there's a female's version of military, because we know what, Trey, we know women are in the military. So therefore, there has to be women's basketball.
I would think it is. So, of course, we got a few people that's tapping in today. We got Malaysia McHenry. We got Kiana. How are y'all ladies doing this? I almost said this morning. I'm so used to saying this morning. This afternoon, this evening. What's good with y'all? How y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay. So, hey, don't come on here with the shyness. Y'all need to act like we.
Leave that shyness. Hey, leave that at the door.
That's not what. That's not what this is about.
Mm-mm.
So, of course, the conversation, as it's been, we've had extensive conversations for the most part, when we reference and talk to commissioners and directors of basketball tournaments and leagues. We're going to talk to coaches, new school and old school. We're going to talk to the male players. So it's always a thing. I used to, when I was served before I retired, I was an equal opportunity leader in the military. I was a sharp leader in the military. I was an MRT in the military. So I got to sit up and give the platform for the other perspective, that being the ladies' perspective, in which y'all are on today. Basically, y'all tell us a little about yourself for the viewers that's tapped in, who's looking as they get ready to come in, who you are, where you from, what you represent, before we get into this conversation.
Let's go.
Okay, I'll go first. So I'm Captain Kiana D'Oliveira. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York.
BK.
Stand up, BK in the building. Stand
up.
Enough
of that.
No, we're gonna do it, because if it was West Coast, you'd be yelling all that West Coast.
Only if it was Compton. I don't sit and that's it. But go ahead. I'm sorry, man. I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. I did play college basketball at Delaware State University in the MEAC, and I've been on the All-Army team 3 times. Nice. And I don't know what else you guys want to know.
Oh, we gonna get to it, man. It's probably
no
good
worries.
that you ain't. I mean, we don't want to have no one you on nobody's carpet come tomorrow morning because of things you said. But okay, say we got you, man. Malaysia, holla at us. What's going on? What's good? Tell us what's good.
So, I'm Specialist Malaysia McHenry. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I played JUCO at Trinity Valley Community College, and then I transferred to Cal State Bakersfield.
Okay.
And my first year playing Army was last year.
Okay. Y'all played on team together. You played last year too, ma'am?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so teammates. All right. So as we sit up and wait, let me see. I got some comments. I'm sorry, I'm tripping on my. What's good, Eric? What's good, bro?
Eric?
What's going on?
We're doing something new, baby. We're doing something new. We're bringing the women's
Glad to have
version
your information, brother.
Yeah,
so
glad to see you.
So the conversation has been, of course, a perspective of what it is for women, for basketball in general, when it comes to the military aspect. But of course, there's been a little change of the guard. Of course, for we don't see. I know supposedly what they tried at one point. I don't know if they're gonna run it back. They tried to do a situation for women of WNBA, or even just a conversation in reference to what goes on. We talk about these tournaments when we get the guys on and stuff like that, but there's never a woman perspective in the situation. So at this point, for y'all, of course, being in basketball, Bam, you said you played for 3 All-Army teams. Malaysia is your first time around. What currently for you, from your perspective, Malaysia, you have a lighter perspective, but I'm very sure there's talks and conversations you have. But for you, man, what is the state of military basketball in your opinion right now?
In my opinion, there's a lot going on the male side.
Woo! We'll talk about it.
Do we know? Do we know?
But I will say that I think military basketball for the males are in good hands. Like there's a lot of talent out there. Some of the players I'm familiar with, but I'm excited just to see how far our All-Army basketball goes in any branch in general. I think when players can take off the uniform and step on the basketball court and do something they really love to do outside the military, I think it's a great opportunity to, stay young, stay in shape, and, be competitive and go at each other. But I definitely think that on the male side, military basketball is in great hands, and I'm looking forward to the future. On the women's side, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little scared. But
really, man, let's talk. Wow. So we're not trying to stir any pots or anything. It's really like you get it putting out there, because what we have seen from the course of maybe almost a month since we touched on this, presumably there has been some movement forward, and to a degree. They listened to the players the other day. Of course, there's been some stuff. So when you say you're scared, man, what reason are you scared?
It's just women participating, honestly. And it's no knock, because I think we have a lot more responsibilities on our plate, I think. But there's no knock to males that actually have like duties as being fathers outside of their work environment. But I think for women, we prioritize everything but basketball at this point in time in our careers and our life. But
I mean, that's interesting that she says that, because that's why we had to have an evening show, because the priority is different for a woman than it is for a man. So that's really, saying there's difference, which is interesting enough. But I'm sorry, man. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Give me your question again. What was your question?
Oh no, I was letting you continue on what you were saying. There's a Twin City Pro-Am League in Dallas every summer, full of teams that wish our Armed Forces women's teams could play against lots of WNBA collegiate talent. Coach Cal, what's good? I see you. Thank you for the info, sir.
Did you see that? Can you see that? What Calvin put up there?
Reading it right now.
Oh, sorry, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's. Okay. Yeah, I read it.
So and how do y'all feel about that? Being that like you have do y'all have full support from the male version of NBA basketball? Do y'all feel like y'all have full support from the males?
I honestly do. Like I said, I'm familiar with a lot of the players, and it's nothing but respect. I've been stationed at Fort Carson, and I've been stationed at Fort Hood. And to be honest, I'm usually up at 5 a.m. in the morning with the guys getting it in. Me and so I know the support is there. They're always with us in the gym, working on our games and just trying to get better. That competitiveness is there. They're not slacking out on us because we're girls. It's actually when we step on the court, they're just like, "Yo, she can hoop. Don't play around."
Right. They give y'all respect.
Yes. But to answer that question, I saw. I think the issue is traveling. To be honest, I know like a lot of players will travel and we're interested in playing in these leagues, but if we only got like 4 out of 5 players that want to play, and then you don't want to show up to a tournament with 5 players, and
absolutely not.
It's
just go hard all the whole time. So to a degree, in Malaysia, we're gonna get you getting there in a second. So a degree, ma'am, are you saying that the buy-in from everyone is starting to be is potentially an issue, more of an issue, which is the reason why you said you're a little skeptical?
Yes, absolutely. But also it goes like you look at on the male side, they have so many teams where it's like if one team drops out of a tournament, it's like next man up with their teams. If one team drops out of a female tournament, it's like, can we still even have this tournament? if that makes sense. So you have
That's good
bases
record,
that
yes.
are committed. Like I know Fort Bragg's always at the tournaments. You have different bases that always show up and they're ready to play, but that commitment from universally from all around the military installations on the women's basketball side is just not there.
And which so I'm a sports specialist here on Fort Polk, and so I know for a fact, like, there's been plenty of times where I've had people rumblings where someone's came and asked you like, hey, why don't we have? I was like, the best I could do is y'all got to play co-ed and play along with the males because there's not enough. Like, there's a few people out here that hoop or they get it in to play with the males during the intramurals or during the things in which we have. But there's not clearly it's not a lot or it's not a huge community on this installation. And that's, I'm very sure it's probably like that across the board. Of course, it's a little different at Fort Hood or things Fort Cavazos, where it's about to be called. So it's a little bit different, I'm sure. I see Coach Walcott, Coach Wayne, sit up and got giving flowers, I guess, already.
Yeah. He giving props to. Did you say somebody Wayne is Allen Iverson? Go on. What? Wait, what? Who? What? We got an Allen Iverson version on the women's side. Is that what he's speaking of?
Wayne is Allen. I think it's Wayne just plugging himself from, like I said,
is that what that
yesterday.
Is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's just plugging himself. So Malaysia, same thing, right? You're new to this. I guess you could say, quote unquote, you could say almost
she
like
true to this. She said she true to this though.
Oh
she
yeah,
might be new to it, but she true to it.
I mean, Coach, that's the same. Coach Wayne said too. I mean, he put it
out
there.
I'm saying.
So, what is from your standpoint now when you look at it, when you look at the state of military basketball now that you're in it and you're a newer version to this?
What is my view?
Yes.
I think as far as the female side, like Katie said, they prioritize their things over basketball. So we don't have really that many females willing to sacrifice some things in order to play games. Like when we go to the gym, the most you'll get is 2 females at most in the gym, and the gym is full of males. So, and I feel like it's not that much advertisement with the females when it comes to basketball in the military. Like, we don't get as much exposure as the males do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's harder for females to find out about basketball. Like, I didn't know we had a basketball team when I joined the Army. Like, and I've been in the Army for almost 3 years, and I just found out last year. So I feel like the advertisement of the female side for basketball needs to be more or equal to the males.
So with that being said, I'm glad you said that. So Malaysia, with that being said, do y'all, and this is going to you as well, ma'am, Katie, do y'all recruit? Like, and if y'all do recruit, when y'all recruit, like when we speak with the males, a lot of them say they go to the PX or the BX or whatever installation exchange they have. They go and they search out for players. They see a 6'4" private or a 6'5" staff sergeant or whatever, and they walk up to them, hey, are you interested? Have you ever played basketball or such and such and such? And that's how they grab a great deal of talent. Does that happen for the women as well? Or do y'all just hope and wish and think that somebody's just going to come into the gym and be a hooper and just see y'all playing ball?
For me, you got this, Lay?
Go ahead. Because I know me personally, I don't do that. I don't personally, but go ahead, Katie.
I think for me, if I go in the gym and I see a female hooping, I look at her form, how she shoots. It's no knock. I look at how she plays defense.
Oh, that's real. No, that's anybody. That's anybody that goes in the gym. If you know a hooper, you're gonna pay attention to everybody's style of shot and stuff like that. You can tell as soon as they shoot the ball if they're a hooper or not. I get that, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm big. Everybody should know this. I'm big on IQ. Like, you guys show me you got some IQ on the court. But off the court, I'm down for hooping. I'm down for recruiting as far as like, even when I came back from deployment last year, And I was in the gym working out, and I remember it was one of the sports directors in the gym. He was telling me his niece played at Tennessee State. And I'm like, automatically, I'm like, oh, shoot, All Army got another one. And I think that recruitment just comes to, honestly, kind of talking to the guys, because they always know a female that hoops somewhere. And you got to understand, like, our league of females that play basketball is so small. So what you'll see at our tournaments is we're blended. There'll be a little bit of civilian females, and it'll be, like, females that's actually serving. And so for me, my recruitment usually comes from females that I've played with in the past, or I played with against, to try to come to tournaments to play with us. Like I said, IQ is big for me on the court. So sometimes that comfort level of talking to other females that I know played in college or played somewhere else, or shoot, even in another service branch, that's where my recruiting would come from. Because I know, like, at the end of the day, this is our escape. We want to ball just as much as the male want to get on the court.
Yeah, that's been the rhetoric for the most part, that we just want to play ball. Remove the politics, in which it sounds like from the woman perspective, the politics hasn't even been a situation. It's more a fact of their own, the players or people playing, or like just like Haiti just said, is a little more, because she side-eyeing certain people when she's watching, like, you ain't worth my time to go holler at her. Malaysia says she doesn't do it for the most part. Is it just a comfortability level for you, Malaysia, or is it it's just not in you? You just rather go let your game do the talking and let someone come holler at you? Hoopers recognize hoopers.
Yeah, I would say the last one. Like, I just let my game do the talking, but I also watch females that come in the gym and they play, and I look at their IQ too, like KD said, and some of them just don't be like, they don't be.
It seems like it's an experience that they witness. It's like
it's real. Like
keep laughing, like she, like if KD was a picture of KD, they'll be side-eyeing right now, like they got that situation going on. But go ahead.
Hey, they be walking in the gym and looking at each other like.
I think we actually did that the other day.
That's what I'm saying. See, I told you.
They like walked in the wrong gym.
All gyms to come in, you had to come into this one. But go ahead, Malaysia. Go ahead.
I feel like me reaching out to a female or recruiting a female would probably be a waste of my time, because, like I said, they're inconsistent and they're not.
Oh, they savage with it.
Real savages with it. Wow, they ain't
no,
like
I'm just saying that,
no punches though, none.
Like, even here at Fort Hood, like, we can't even get a 5-on-5 game. Like, we can never get a 5-on-5 game. It was always 6 of us, and we got to bring 4 males in to play. Like, it was never a 5-on-5 female game. Like, so I feel like I would be wasting my time trying to go out and recruit females, knowing how the females are on Fort Hood.
Yeah, and just to back her up on that,
they don't take it serious at all. Like, they don't take it serious. Like, basketball is life to me, but so other females, like, they didn't grow up how I grew up with basketball, so they don't know how serious it is for other players.
How much it does a passion for you? How hard it is? I get it.
Okay, Mel, use caveat.
Yes, what you were saying?
Just to back her up on that, I would sit here and I would stand on that. Fort Hood could have the best women's basketball team in all of military basketball. We probably have about 8 Division I players here that can go.
Ooh, wow.
But at the end of the day, if we're not showing up to tournaments and stuff, nobody will ever know that. We're not showing up in the gym, working on our games. Nobody will ever know that. I know briefly when I came back from deployment, we were able to put on a game where I think we got like 4 of our Division I basketball players out here. And it was fun, but at the end of the day, that it wasn't consistent. Our females show up to play a game, but they won't show up for a practice, or they won't show up to travel to different tournaments. And there's no knock against them, please. I don't want them to think I am throwing shade or nothing like that. I understand
just bring it to the conversation.
That life happens and we all have our priorities. And that's just what it is.
And it's like I hate that fact of the matter, because it's like, again, when we say we all have priorities, we know what those priorities are. You have some people are mothers and they have children, their wives, or just, saying they got different things going on, as opposed to that in some cases a male. And so it's a different type of situation, obviously, of course, like I said, hence the reason why we're doing a later show today, as opposed to the regular one, because we want to make sure that we can get as much participation as we speak right now. Of course, Jasmine isn't on yet or hasn't tapped in yet because she has basketball practice, in which she talked about.
Which is
So
a good
her-
thing. It's
as a
good. I mean,
coach-
that shows you where her priority is. She went to practice, so that's what
Coach
it is.
Parker said two of the best in the game. You know, all their coaches is chiming in. It's just Coach Parker. What's up, Coach Parker? Glad to have information with us.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate you
of
doing
course,
that.
shouting it out. Of course, another accolade saying conversation. Two of the best in the game. Just this past all service tournament. It was Army and men and women that took the gold. Correct?
Yes.
I was about to say I'll say who, but I don't. I hate that term, so I'm not going to even let the other pass my words. So obviously, of course, like Katie was just saying, she feel not that it would just be composed of all Fort Hood soldiers, but she just said she feel like Fort Hood would probably be the dominant, be that franchise team. If you was to put teams in the franchise mode, that it would be that squad. Who out there, ma'am? Since you say that. Do you know, since you know some of the people across the installations and stuff like that, as far as the Army, what installation has the women that you know of that can rival that or rival what you think you see at Fort Hood?
Honestly, I'd probably say I know that Fort Stewart had a team going with one of my teammates, Precious, on that squad. And then, Fort Belvoir, I know they're always able to piece together a solid team from that DMV area. I played for them a couple years back. So I know those two teams. And then you can't ever sleep on Bragg. So they have some sneaky talent that pops up for them to play. So there's a few teams out there, if they actually got their squad together, that it could be an interesting tournament.
It's funny that you say that. I'm always listening and always paying attention. Never know what rabbit I might be able to pull out my hat. So in this, right? So for the most part, let me go that. Let's transition a little bit and move back. We're gonna come back to this topic, but I got just for those people out there, just this little thing, ma'am. Who is your squad in which you rock with right now, whether it be men or women? We can do WNBA, NBA. Who is that squad right now in round ball that you put on for? Please don't tell me it's the Nets, ma'am. But I mean, it could be, but
absolutely not. My squad.
Okay.
My squad is the Knicks.
That was my
diehard fan. I've been rocking with them ever since. But also you gotta understand who I am as a person. Like, I like players individually, like a defensive player, like a Westbrook that just hustles and goes at it. That's be in your face. Like, I like players for different things. But if you had to ask me who my squad is and who I would root for, I would root for the Knicks.
This guy that just climbed back on, put the headphones on, he's a Nets fan for whatever reason.
That's right. Brooklyn, what you mean? Brooklyn, stand up, baby. Let's go, man. Let's go.
I was about to say he's not from Brooklyn, but I had to catch myself because technically
I'm from Queens. But
Queens.
Cool.
Okay, Queens.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Malaysia, who are you rocking with?
The Lakers.
Let's go! Let's go!
I knew it. Oh my God.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's all I gotta say.
Who's your favorite player, Malaysia?
LeBron.
Oh my God. Come on, ma'am. I know I'm finna mute her. Ma'am, who's your favorite player?
Right now, my favorite player has to be Kalia Copper on the Chicago Sky.
Okay.
I like it.
Chicago Sky stand up.
WNBA in the building. Let's go.
So additionally, right? So going back, I'll just have to do that to clear my mind right quick. So, all right, going back into again the perspective and the topic of what's going on in the WNBA. I mean, in the NBA, in military basketball. And from y'all's opinions, what is it that y'all would like to see more if you can wave a wand and speak to the military basketball Illuminatis? What would it be that you would be asking for that you would like to see if you was that change agent?
For me, I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, I got you. For me, it's the support thing. That Lay kind of touched on earlier. I know prior to COVID, like on the women's side, like military basketball was booming a little bit more than it is now. But I also remember like a couple years back, they had a tournament, a national tournament, and like when you saw like, okay, what the men was getting and what the women was getting, I literally pulled out that tournament and I was just like,
oh wow,
if it's not equal on both sides, I don't want to show up. That's kind of messed up. We're going out there, we're putting out the same amount of, time and effort and competing. Why isn't it, the same on both sides? So if the women's basketball programs get back up and running, I just hope that we have the same support from every avenue as the males do.
Okay. Malaysia?
I would just say more participation.
And so that would even be, so what is it, what's the temperature like from, because you are both Army, what is it like from y'all understanding in the Navy, Air Force, Marines? What's that landscape like over there when we talk about women and military basketball? Is that booming? Do you hear more about, your counterparts in the other services getting it in, or is it the same across the spectrum?
I personally don't know anyone other forces that plays basketball, so I don't know.
Okay. Man, would you have any idea?
I think it's the same for the most part as far as their participation levels, in my opinion, but they do have their players that, they'll show up to tournaments, they'll come out to hoop. Pretty much certain tournaments, you could just name some players that are going to be there and just ready to hoop. So it's kind of like the same.
So my question for y'all both is, especially mainly for you, ma'am, is the fact that you said that before the pandemic, y'all had more participation. Since the pandemic, the participation has kind of dropped off. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the women have veered away from women's basketball in the military since the pandemic?
I'm honestly not sure, to be honest, but I will say prior to me coming to Fort Hood, I wasn't hooping either. Like I found the love for my game back when I got here to Fort Hood. It wasn't like something that was showing up actively in the gym because the gyms were closed, to be honest. So it's just like, all right, do I go outside and play ball? And then COVID was a scare, so you really didn't want to be too close to anybody. So I wasn't hooping. And then I got back here and I linked up with Coach Hunter, and he just got me back in the gym with AAU girls, the high school basketball, and that just kind of brought my passion back. And I just
spark again.
Okay.
I get it.
I see Kiana Scott pull it up, Marine Corps all Marine 2009, 2011, so underrepresented. Are you talking about the Marine Corps is underrepresented or yourself? Which one?
Wow.
No, I'm just asking. See, there you go. I'm just trying to make sure. Trying to find out and make sure that we have a perspective. So it was just a question in which you just asked. Both. Okay. Say it with your chest then. That's what I'm talking about.
Right? Yeah, always. All right. So she's saying Marines got them out there. I guess they just ain't showing up in the numbers in certain areas. 2009, 2010. I mean 2009, 2011. That's a while away.
So
it is.
I will say that I was familiar with one of the Marines players that I played against in college, April McBride. And I know she can go, but as far as the Marines, ever since I've been in, they haven't been too competitive.
Okay.
So, and that's which I was about to ask. I'm glad you said that, man, because you bring it back and replanted it in my head. So let's do a little of questioning where we give you an opportunity to give some of your counterparts flowers out there. So, of course, in the time frame which y'all have played, who would y'all say is the best female or women's player out there right now, or someone who? Well, no, let me run it back.
Women's military basketball.
Who gave you buckets that you was like, oh my goodness? Who gave you buckets in which you was like, my goodness? Now, man, they already
Don't do that.
KD.
Malaysia looking all the way like I don't want to answer this.
like I just said, me and my sister Malaysia going to take care of the kids, and she looking at me so. But KD, Malaysia, who gave y'all buckets when you?
Yeah, who's that walking bucket when they walk in the gym? They a walking bucket.
So for me, honestly, nobody gives me buckets.
I knew she was saying.
So that's just
I
want the best person. I want to guard the best person. So nobody's giving me buckets.
Oh boy,
so no one's giving me okay.
But I will say that I have mad respect for the Navy's Danica Dale. She's always been a tough matchup. But yeah, it's just that respect thing. I wouldn't say anybody gave me buckets. No.
Okay, well, we figured it. I figured it was coming Malaysia.
Really?
Why
she's like, nah.
Why she hit me with the
Nobody?
Nobody? Okay.
Wow.
But again, it is my first year, so maybe next year might give me buckets, but right now, nah.
No, nobody.
No.
Is there anyone, Malaysia? I asked you this question first, and I turn it over to KD. Is there somebody that in your first year that you can remember, because this is your first year, so you might, like you say, you don't know everybody, but potentially
everybody, right?
Yes, but potentially you know this person because they was a nightmare for you defensively, or just someone that you felt like was kind of like in you, and you was like, man, like I wouldn't want to face them again. Has there been anyone like that for you yet?
I say the Navy team was really tough. Like they got some good players, but yeah,
there was not one specific player. It was just them as a whole. Like it's like this. Okay,
them as a team.
Okay, ma'am. Same question to you.
I don't have anybody to me. I would say if you want to talk about like competitiveness, I'll say just come to all Army practice. We're going at each other.
I figured that was coming sooner or later.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, you got to think about that. They're the best. They're the best in all service currently. So you got to think that comes from a place. It comes from a place, and that place might be in practice where that is the most competition. And which not saying that I don't want to start anything because I want people to get out there and be like,
Go ahead, Charles. Start it, Charles.
Charles, really? That's what you're say, Charles. But of course, I figured it was coming up sooner or later that basically, saying we are our competition. I was looking for Malaysia to say, KD has been my problem, or saying something like.
I thought you was talking about from another team.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, and I was going to ask, like, man, what is your? I mean, everyone has said that. Said you're the best in the business out there right now. Some of your own coach for the most part, or coaches. So, what is your claim to fame, man? What is it? You're the bucket? You're a defensive defensive menace? Like, what is it that everyone when they hear KD, they're like, oh god dang. What's that?
So what is your build on 2K? What are you when you on 2K? What is your tagline under your name? Are you a 3-and-D or are you a sharpshooter? You know what I'm saying? What is your tagline?
I'm just that all-around player. I kind of just pick up on what my team needs and I just go from there. If it's getting a stop on defense, if it's trying to get a bucket, get to a free throw line, if it's making an extra pass, which Lay always holds me down with the assist. So, I just try to be whatever my team needs me to be. I'm all hustle and heart on the court. That's just me.
But what's your position, ma'am? If it was for the most part, I know
every position.
Okay, I was about to say I know positions is basketball is a thing now.
Just everything, boy. She gets
it in no matter what.
She's just everywhere.
If they needed to be Magic Johnson in '86, you know what I'm saying?
She's gonna play the position, bro. Where you need me, coach? Where you need me, coach? Where you need me? I'm there. That's what's
all up. Right, Malaysia. I know you're saying that young bravado.
She got to be the PG. She got to be the one. She just said, KD just said she give it them assists, so she got to be the PG.
No, I'm a power forward.
Really?
Yeah.
So she out here like Giannis is what she said.
Yeah, she out here getting buckets like that. Okay, doing it. Okay. All right. Okay.
So I mean, that's what it is. And you know what I'm saying? It's she's confident, young and confident. And you know what I'm saying? Basically breaking
Trey, we
down.
got to get them on the court, man. I want to see these. I want to see their talent, man. They man, especially man, because she man.
I mean, the first person came on and basically said, who was it? It was Coach Wayne. He basically said KD's the best all around player in women's military basketball.
That's what's up.
That's the same thing she said. So same thing to you, Malaysia. What is your? I mean, you're a power forward. What is your claim to fame? What's the thing in which, like Bishop was just saying, what's your bill? What is it?
2K
what is it?
Tagline? Yeah, what's your tag? What's your bill? Archetype.
I would say shooting threes.
Three. Does that come with 3 and D or just threes?
Yeah. Do you play defense? Are you like a Steph Curry
or a pass? Just the reach,
Luka.
just the reach. You'd be like,
Yeah, are you a Luka? You shoot threes, but you don't play no defense.
Olay defense.
I think I'm solid on post defense, but
okay.
Oh, wait, don't say nothing that's going to get that. Some people going to start to the market get the market.
Yeah, don't put your weakness out there like that now. Don't put your weakness out there like that now. Skill, Malaysia.
Yeah, I think I'm solid on defense.
Okay, that's what you. So she's learning. You pick up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's how you do it. You don't tell your weakness.
Don't make it easy. Don't make it easy for them scout. You know what I'm saying? Coach Wayne already came and said skilled on offensively.
But I'm definitely an offensive player, though.
That's what's up.
More defensive.
So to the both of y'all, in a sense, at this point, we're getting what's called. We'll go back into the state of as we were talking about. So for the both of y'all, is it like a switch when you get on the court and you become a whole different type of person, a whole different like an animal, like Malaysia, like Coach Wayne was just saying, Malaysia is a skill offensively and definitely. So it's like, does it become where it's like it's go time, or is it a situation to where you got to get where you got to get to going? Ma'am, I know everyone's saying that you are that person, so I guess you won't go all day, every day, ready to go. But I'll let y'all basically provide us with that information.
I'm just a competitor. As soon as I step on the court, it's on. I know me and Lay has had many battles on the court, and we be mad at each other. But you know, when I step off the court, it's all love. I'm just trying to make my teammate better. Anybody that hoop against better, and I'm just trying to get better. So yeah, as soon as I step on the court, I don't have friends. My teammates would be the closest things to my friends on the court, and everybody else, I'm just trying to rip your head off. That's it.
Okay, off with your head, finish him. Coming back. What's good, Coach Uriah? What's going on? Glad to have you in formation this evening. Why can't we see KD face?
We can't answer that, Coach.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We have no idea. We can't control that part. We don't control it.
I'm starting.
I'm figuring it because she ain't want to say anything that was going to get her incriminated.
Right. Yeah, you can't put a face with a name. You can't put a face with a name.
Like KD, I was like, that was Kevin Durant. That sounded like me. Like I don't know that was me.
So face with a name.
Yeah, so we get it, of course. You know what I'm saying? It's understandable. I appreciate Kiana. So, like she just said, Bishop, she was just saying she takes it's off with your head. She is everyone. The only people that she's cool with is on the court, and if it happens to be they switch from that team, now they got to get it too. Is basically what she's saying. For UKD, I know Coach Walcott basically said you were smiling in their face and shoot a three. Is that just just you getting this, or is that just you flexing at that point?
Are you a Steph Curry 3-point shooter, or are you like a Dame time type 3-point shooter, or are you like a KD type 3-point shooter? Like, what type of 3-point shooter are you? Do you create your own shot, or you got a set shot? Which one is it?
I got a set shot.
Okay.
Again, don't let us get you to say we're not trying to set no scouting reports out on you where people are like, all right. So you know what I'm saying? Just don't if it just so happens finally someone does that, I want you to be like, see, I ain't never going on for first formation again. I have no problem part of this, and now everyone is
now everybody guard me on this corner three.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite place to shoot your threes at?
I can't tell y'all that.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Now you're learning.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Now you're learning. There it is.
Of course, Coach Walcott is chiming in, of course, saying basically if he's starting the team, He wants KD, the leader, does everything. She's a blessing, utmost professional. Her game backs it all up, of course. And then he's giving you, telling you, Malaysia, stop snitching. Basically, stop giving up. Okay, so
you learning. I ain't mad.
So getting back into it, right? Getting back into talking about the state of military basketball. Of course, like you said, I'm very sure y'all see what's going on the male side of it, to where there's a little back and forth or whatever case like that. So when y'all was hearing that or seeing that, what was the first thing that came to mind for y'all? Like, what emotion did that enact in you as their counterpart? You know what I'm saying? As a female counterpart, some of these you see or you interacted with during camps, or you seen them during the all service tournament last year. So seeing that back and forth, or just the conversation, what was you thinking?
I was thinking, can the women have these problems? Like,
how did I know that was it? Okay. Okay.
That was my first thought. And then I just kind of thought about how the women's and the men's game is. I know for me, I usually play with the team that at the base I'm stationed at. But my rule of how I always played is, if my team wasn't in a tournament, or if I didn't have a base team, I would play with somebody else. So for instance, when I was stationed at Fort Carson, I played with Fort Carson. When I was in recruiting in Baltimore, I was kind of zoned for Fort Meade, and that's how I ended up playing with Fort Belvoir. Okay. And then now when I got here, Fort Hood. So I just kind of rock with my team. If I have a team there, I'll rock with my team. But, that is a conversation that, I just watch from a distance, pull the blinds down, and peek out of it.
So in the case in which I'm trying to make sure I ask questions, because I remember, Lazy, you said you're only a year into this, so it's a little bit different. But to a degree, what is your competition that we talk about competitiveness? Like Katie just said, she usually plays with her team. If her installation has a team, what is your take on going and creating super teams? Although it's a little bit different from y'all, because to get that game going, y'all have to kind of link up with other teams. But what is y'all, for the most part, if you remove that and there was a plethora of teams out there, what is y'all take on creating super teams or rocking with a couple of people and going out and competing?
Me personally, I rock with the people who go competing, because what are you gaining from being on a team with all these all-stars? Like, what is that doing for your game?
So you on the Kobe Bryant tip, like, what I'm saying, I'm trying to see what everyone's going on. So if you link up with me, I'm basically checking you out. You know what I'm saying? What about you, man? What's your philosophy on the link up in the quote unquote super teams, or people getting together and playing under instead of going out and competing against one another?
I like the competition. I'm not gonna lie. I know, like, once again, when I was stationed at Fort Carson, you had 2 All-Army girls at Fort Carson, and then you had a whole bunch of All-Army, All-Navy at the Fort Belvoir area. And initially, before Fort Carson even put their team in, they was like, "Hey, you trying to come hoop with us?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm trying to play against y'all." Like that was, but yeah, I like to compete. That's just the bottom line. I want to compete against people. I want to get better, and I always want to play against the best competition. So that's just my take.
And which is definitely is not a knock on anyone. It's just, saying, at this point, it's just figured out like the state of different people, like both Malaysia and KD both said, they want to compete. They were trying to get their game better. So as opposed to linking up with you, they trying to play against you to see, what that be like. Of course, when you listen to the men, some of them have a different perspective. Some of them basically said and talked about how they're past that time to where, to do that. Others talk about how they contribute for the most part, or if there's a team out there that's their squad, they can play with different things. So, of course, that's based on the pure team aspect versus an open aspect. When was the last time either one of y'all played in an open, in a tournament open, or a tournament in general? First, let's ask that question. When was the last time y'all played in a tournament as a military basketball team outside of the all-service tournament?
Prior to the all-service tournament, I actually played with Fort Hood at a Dallas law enforcement tournament that we ended up winning. Once again, we had the presence of 4 All Army girls on that team, but we just didn't have the girls from Fort Hood supporting this. Malaysia wasn't on the team yet with us, but we pulled together girls that can go, and we honestly ran through that competition.
I was about to say, was it even competitive? But you just said you sliced through it. So
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, they had some teams out there, but there's just no real competition for us in that tournament specifically.
So where do you think you would have to go? I mean, I guess like Coach Cal said, the pro-am up in Dallas, I guess, would be the closest thing for you to really get some competition.
Sound like they need to go overseas to me, Trey. Sound like it needs some overseas play.
Is that what you're saying, man? Y'all need to go face off against.
They need some international play. That was no comp. That sounds like some international play need to happen.
I mean, yeah, that's always an option. Like I said, the reason why I know Fort Hood ended up playing in the law enforcement circuit in their tournaments was because we just didn't have that much interest on the military basketball side for the women.
Okay, so, again, the interest.
It's always an option, to be honest.
But what she said, she wants competition. She wants to compete any way, form, or fashion. She's trying to get it in, makes it better.
That's how you make you. Yeah, I was about to say that's what makes you better is by competing against the best. So that's the only way that makes you better. That's why I say international play.
When's the last tournament you? Because Katie just stated you weren't there. Malaysia. When's the last time you competed in like open or a tournament or something like that outside of the all service tournament?
So after our Army, we had a game against McLennan Community College.
Okay.
And then just playing intramurals here on Fort Hood. That's the last time.
That part, Uriah. That part. Matter of fact, I will assume that Ma'am KD as well as I'm sure Malaysia hasn't because she's only been in 3 years, so I'm assuming she hasn't played or haven't even been overseas yet, as far as like Europe or anywhere like that, Korea or anything of that nature. But ma'am, have you played overseas?
No, I have not. But I actually grew up for the most part overseas, so I'm not on the professional level playing, but a lot of my game was built kind of overseas, playing there and just growing as a player before I got here and before I got to Virginia and started high school there. So from New York, I grew up overseas.
And that's what I was about to say. Was it against? Were you playing against other service members' kids, or was it against the people from that country, or what? Like, what was the type of competition growing up, and what you played on that kind of like edge your game?
So playing against other service members' kids, I remember like we used to travel throughout. They set up a team for us at the little youth service center, and we traveled throughout Europe playing. I actually won a championship as a kid playing over there. But
so she was spoiled from the get-go.
Yeah, but for the most part, I'm showing up in the gym playing against whoever's in the gym. That's how I got better. Bigger than me, quicker than me. I'm showing up and playing against those people.
Okay,
that's what's up. I will say overseas play, because even while I was stationed overseas, I was stationed over there a few times. Just the talent level is crazy over there, especially like in Europe and Germany. It's a lot of ball players and women, including like talking about women. I've seen a few of them play over there, and it's just the competition is different over there for some odd reason. And I guess it's because of the nature of what's going on while you're over there. There's a lot to do over there, but it's still a foreign country, so you find a lot more participation, I feel like, over there than you do in the States, in my opinion. But yeah, I totally agree with Coach Hunter. If you can get an opportunity to play overseas, definitely try and play overseas.
Well, we don't want to say. I'm very sure KD's going to get it at some point, but I'm very sure they'll get over there at some point, get stationed, and be able to go and take their services elsewhere. Coach Wayne said he disagreed overseas, stateside. It doesn't matter. You will find comp everywhere. I wouldn't get stationed just overseas, just to hoop.
Oh no, I'm not saying just to hoop. I'm not saying
I think he's talking to Uriah.
Okay.
The comp really is better stateside. I was stationed in Korea, and the difference in Korea and here is not even close.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say, I'm not necessarily saying Korea. I mentioned Korea, but I'm not necessarily saying Korea in itself. I'm talking about Germany. I watched, like, they had the Albert Schweitzer tournament over there when I was stationed over there, which was a huge tournament. Oh, you know about that tournament, man?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that tournament and shape. Yeah.
Yep, I know about that one. Yeah, so they got big tournaments over there. So I'm talking about Germany, not necessarily Korea, but in Germany, Europe, them tournaments over there be big. And when I say big, like the Albert Schweitzer tournament, it turned out kids from all over, was playing in that tournament. And when I say standing room only in the gym, that's when I first, outside of high school, when I came into the military, that was one of the first. I went to Germany as my second tour. My first tour was in Fort Bliss, and then my second tour was in Germany. That was the first time I went to a basketball game outside of high school and saw a gym so filled like it was a club. DJ in the corner, standing room only at a gym in Europe. That's how, and they ball. And when I say they balling, they had a huge tournament, have dunk contests, 3-point shootouts, all of that overseas. So I'm not necessarily saying she needs to go over there just to hoop. No, definitely not that. But at the same token,
It's
I mean,
a
if
different
you're over there,
experience.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what have either of you? Of course, ma'am, maybe more so you. I'm not saying that you're the the spokesperson for military basketball for the women's, but has there been a conversation or anything in which y'all have had just in sitting or being around people that you know or that playing tournaments and leagues and stuff like that in reference to when is y'all's turn up again, or or knowing that, like you said to begin this off, knowing that the participation level isn't there necessarily? Have you just been quiet on it, or have you just tested the waters and asked questions to see what the temperature is from the other people that put on these events?
I personally haven't reached out to anybody regarding events. Like, I know the big go-to events that they have, like the Capital Classic. I know Nationals is coming up. I know Fort Bragg used to have a tournament that I played in a few years ago. So for me, it's just kind of, when I know those tournaments usually come up around that time period, it's like, are y'all doing a women's side? No? Okay. So it's kind of like a temperature check for me to see, like, all right, do we even have enough participation to do a tournament? And then if so, now it's okay, let's see who's actually available to play, and is it going to be even worth our time to go to a tournament?
Okay. I know, just as I said, Coach Wayne, Coach Uriah, going back and forth, not going back and forth, but Coach Uriah, Wayne especially said if you're basically there overseas, you're kind of committed. It's a huge point referring to being committed and dedicated, because there's nothing else over there for the most part for you to do. So that's very sure. Competitive players stateside compared to competitive league is different. I agree with Coach Wayne. Yes, there are competitive players everywhere, but where are those leagues for women? Coach Calvin comes back. I really think they need more tournaments put together for them here in the States. It has to be put in a reasonable location, so that way the travel is feasible and realistic. But it still comes down from what y'all saying. Even one, the quality in that, or two, the dedication. And it seems like neither one is matching up for the most part at this point. And so even with the all service tournaments, ma'am, in Malaysia, it still is a lack of opportunity to play in tournaments and stuff like that. Even to know that it's a tournament going on somewhere, it's a bunch of all service players and probably some other ones there, is still a lack of participation or interest. I guess you can't say interest, because again, like we said, there's probably an interest there, but there's probably a priorities are different. So I guess that continues to be the rhetoric, but is for the most part, for the sake of the conversation, is it a lack of interest, you think, from those women that that go and they can play and stuff like that? If you remove interest levels, remove those priorities and just had it to where it was an interest, do you think these type of tournaments and games will have a lot of participation?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Because you have players that love the game, you have players that like the game, And then you have players that kind of just fell out of love with the game, to be honest.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on the player, to be honest.
Which is suitable. Of course, Malaysia, same thing, but you being new to this, and you got that fire and ready to go, walk into the gym, get together. Would you be open to if you knew a tournament was open, trying to like pull some ladies in? They'd be like, "Hey, it's a tournament going on," making some connections or asking to find out what's good, who's trying to pull up at these tournaments, or are you just like, you know what, it is what it is?
I would try to find some females willing to play, because like I said, I love playing basketball. So if there's ever an opportunity where I can just go play, I'm gonna take it.
So
yeah.
I mean, we're coming close to an hour, so we're gonna get close to where I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go, so y'all can continue with your day. But of course, still got some questions before we do that, and some stuff to be asked. So, what is next for y'all as far as from a competitive standpoint? What is up next for y'all to compete? Anything on your radar to be out there, show that skill outside of practice and stuff like that?
What's next on the radar for basketball?
Looking forward.
Yeah, for basketball, yes.
Go ahead, Lay.
Just looking forward to our Army right now, because there's no tournaments for us, so just preparing for that.
And ma'am, for you, anything you know that's going on or anything you're participating in? That's, you know what, y'all make sure y'all tune in tomorrow to hear Coach Wayne and them and talk about what they got going on. So that, saying that might be what's next for y'all. So be sure to tune in tomorrow morning, 09-1100 hours Central Standard Time, first formation, as they get on here and talk. But go ahead, ma'am. You about to say?
For me, definitely All Army is on my radar. But I'll be taking my talents to Virginia to team up with Jasmine Green and hopefully, build that program back up and get some championships going. So that's what's next on the radar for me.
Talents to Jasmine. We had her on here after Eustis won their championship. So you teaming up there. Time is done in Fort Hood. Time to move on, huh, man? Taking the talents to Virginia. Which Kyle said, there's typically not a gray area when it comes to women's basketball, from my opinion. Men, no matter if they still competitive or not, will continue to live out the dream through military basketball. You don't see that lesser talent women attempted to play at a high clip. Well, I guess that's right. I was looking for Bishop to try to say something, because he always says something about me wanting to continue to play. It's not living out a dream or anything like that.
Let me see. What I'm not going to do is allow him to just sit here and say this. So for one thing, Trey is trying to my counterpart here. He's trying to live his best Tom Brady version.
Hold up. Trying to live.
Trying to live his best Tom Brady version. He feels as though since Tom Brady could play football at a high level up into his mid-40s or whatever, he feels as he can do the same. Bro, it don't work like that. It don't work like that for everybody. Everybody can't do that.
So, why can't I be exception to the fact?
I get it.
Why can't I be exception to the fact? You said everyone doesn't do that. Why can't
it's crazy you say that? It's crazy you say that.
Everyone.
It's crazy you say that, Trey, because I just saw Terrell Owens is out there still playing too, and he's 49. So he's
only 2 years older than me.
Yeah, so man, you know what I'm saying? Go out there and live your best life, bro. Go live what you better not do is come back on here talking about who my knees, who my ankle, who my back. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm just saying, don't do that part. Oh, we would miss both KD and Lay when they PCS. Oh, both of y'all about to PCS? Both of them about to PCS?
Lay, you up out of there too? Wait, Lay,
yes,
Lay, you on your way to Virginia too? Lay, you on your way to Virginia too? I was about to say.
It sounds fishy.
They got a transfer reporter in the military now?
They taking they telling who is this? LeBron James and Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh? What y'all doing? I'm just saying, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? Y'all taking y'all talents out the VA? No, where you going, Lay? Where you going?
I'm going to Fort Carson.
Oh, Colorado. Okay.
You go to Colorado.
When you leave?
September.
Okay. Nice.
Okay,
And ma'am is going out to Virginia, she say? I missed that
Mhm.
part. She said she's going to VA. Okay.
Yeah, she said she's gonna team up
So
with
y'all might face one
with
another
Jasmine Green.
then. Okay, so
And
y'all
I'm
might
ready.
face one another.
I'm ready.
Oh, she
All the smoke.
She want all the smoke.
Let's
want
go.
all the
She
smoke.
said she
Come
want
on.
all the smoke. Let's go. She want all the smoke.
So before we get up out of here, we got a couple of questions real quick to ask y'all. Of course, one question which we ask everybody that's new that comes to the show. We always ask them a question. This certain questions. This one particularly for y'all, I think y'all can tackle it no problem. So I don't know who's gonna get it first. I just like to sit up and put it out there. So the question I ask is, who is your Mount Rushmore in basketball?
I so can't wait to hear this. Can't wait to hear this.
I would say mine's is LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to still be in the league or
No, they don't have to still
Just
be playing.
anybody.
Whoever, men and
Anybody.
women, whichever,
Men,
however you see
women,
your best,
retired,
who you think is
passed
your
away,
Mount Rushmore,
whatever.
your best players that was out there, 4 players, 4 heads on
Yes, only 4 heads.
Malaysia's Mount Rushmore of basketball.
LeBron, Maya Moore, Lisa Leslie, and my 4th. Dang.
Yeah, it's hard, ain't it?
I would have to say, let me think. Rajon Rondo. That he used to be one of my
Ray
favorite
John.
players.
Okay, Ray John, that's a different one.
Who was her
That's the one that
second
we
one? I
heard.
missed her second one. Who was her second one? I heard Lisa Leslie. Who was her second one outside of LeBron?
She said
Maya Moore.
Maya Moore, yeah.
Maya Moore. Oh, okay. I like it. I like it. You gotta forgive her because she was born in 2000. I get it. She don't know. We give her a pass, Coach Hunter. We giving her a pass. We giving her a pass.
KD, same question to you.
Oh,
Look at she probably over there typing up stuff like that. Go ahead, man.
I definitely have to have Kobe on there.
I like it.
I'll put Diana Taurasi on there.
Oh, okay, Taurasi. All
Nice.
right.
I like it.
They're kind of the same person, just different sexes in a sense.
Kevin said Rondo needs to be tagged and alerted on this great.
Taurasi, Kobe.
I say Candace Parker.
Nice.
Candace Parker,
I like that
CP.
one. I like that one.
And then I have to put LeBron on there.
You killed the whole thing. Oh my God!
He definitely changed the game, his dynamics, and how he plays.
Oh my God!
So let me ask y'all this real question.
LeBron.
Let me ask this one question for y'all before we get up out of here, right? So it's interesting. Of course, Coach Uriah stated that the reason Lay didn't do it is because she was born in 2000. So of course we know
she don't know
KD is probably you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
saying so. So why is it that Michael Jordan wasn't on y'all list? Like this morning, I spoke with a gentleman who was a little older than myself and Bishop both, and he talked about how Michael Jordan was his GOAT, and he talked about how if Jordan had played the 2 years, how the Cowboys would have, I'm not the Cowboys, the Bulls would have had 8.
The other 2, thank you. Who is this gentleman? He's a great guy. Who is this guy?
He was on the show this morning, Mark Creed. Okay. But anyway, why is it that y'all omitted Michael Jordan? Everyone knows, we all know. Why is it that y'all omitted him in y'all list?
Malaysia probably ain't never seen him play.
In y'all list,
Malaysia
but
never
why
saw him
wasn't
play.
he?
To be honest,
She be honest, she ain't never seen him play. I need you to go see. I need you to go see Malaysia. Yeah. After this, I need you to go watch not LeBron's version. Not LeBron's version. First off, let me get understanding. Not LeBron's version of Space Jam. I need you to go watch the original Space Jam.
I watched it. I seen it, but
She wasn't impressed.
Yeah, I'm unimpressed.
What?
No, Jordan. No, for real. Michael Jordan, he is a great player. I just forgot about him, to be honest. But like growing up, I never really watched his game like that. It was always LeBron, so that's why.
Have you seen that right there, Malaysia? Come Fly With Me.
That's a movie.
Oh my God! Woo, yeah. Oh my God!
Why y'all set her up like that?
Man, Calvin did that. No. Malaysia, do me a favor. Since you already seen both Space Jams, erase all that of what I said about Space Jam. Go see Come Fly With Me. Please watch that.
Okay.
Please watch that.
Ma'am, what was your reason for the omission of Michael Jordan?
Honestly, I just wanted to go with players that I kind of could relate to as far as like their fire, who I built kind of like my game around, and who I could like take tidbits from, whether like just their passion, how aggressive they were, and just stuff like how they changed the game for me.
Okay. So with Henson Reggie, you're so clear and concise. So I mean, basically, they just self and poking at Malaysia. I knew it was coming, of course.
Yeah, we had to.
So I greatly appreciate, ladies, y'all coming on and chopping this up with us this evening, giving your perspective and kind of like giving a more of an insight. Of course, I'm very sure if anyone was listening, they heard the conversation I currently clearly hear a lot of is there's no opportunities, even if we don't even know if the interest is there. There's no opportunities to pique the interest in the sense. And maybe there is something that's going to change that coming close. I think I'm not saying hearing some of the people speak that maybe there is, but of course it's just like I used to always say when I was in the DFAC, you can't come asking me for crab legs and surf and turf when y'all ain't eating our veal parmesan. So you'll say
a chili mac or chili mac or yakisoba. Y'all ain't need no yakisoba and chili mac. I need y'all to come and eat that yakisoba and chili mac.
Yeah, you show up on a Thursday, but you won't show up Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Come eat this meatloaf and stop playing.
It's Jäger Schnitzel, but
I'm just saying, bro.
But like I said, I greatly appreciate y'all tapping in and whatever case like that. Be sure everyone that's watching this will be sure to tap in tomorrow morning 0900 hours as we talk to Coach Wayne, Kimberly Green, Colton Ray, T. Morris, all in reference to what's going on that they got going on. So for y'all, Malaysia, KD, there might be opportunity. But we just talking about as early as July. But of course, they're going to give the whole spiel and talk about it and give it. I think we're going to also have a special appearance. Coach Ron Bartley, U.S. Army men's basketball, all-Army basketball. I think he's going to tap in as well, straight from Camp Casey, Korea. So, you know what I'm saying? It should be a whole vibe. Yeah, it should be a whole vibe tomorrow morning. One question for y'all before y'all leave: who's going to win the NCAA women's tournament from Coach Cal?
That's a good question, Cal. I like that one. That's why I threw it up there. I like that.
South Carolina.
Dawn
KD,
Staley.
You agree? You concur?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dawn Staley. She's a beast.
I think that's a consensus. Maybe I don't know. USC is in there, so I might have to roll with my team regardless.
I don't even know why you brought him up.
In any case, we greatly appreciate y'all tapping in. Ladies, any last words before we get ready to get up out of here? Y'all gotta say any shout out or even just speak to somebody, a statement, a comment, a plug, whatever. It's your time.
No, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah.
No problem, ma'am. Even though you stay here, I hope.
I know. Maybe next time we'll get to see.
Yeah. I hope we ain't doing anything that you know saying.
Name.
So. So of course, like I said, we up out of here. We greatly appreciate y'all. Be sure to check in tomorrow morning, same place, same time. Y'all know what it is. Enjoy y'all day. Holla at y'all. Peace.